Sweet. We are now live from Grace's studio at Inscape.
Woohoo! Alright guys, welcome to my very first ever live show. We'll give it a couple minutes for folks to join.
As Scott McScal just joined.
Alright, Scott.
John Sun 1259 also joined.
Awesome, welcome
Welcome, y'all.
Welcome. So we'll give it a couple minutes to start. I hope you all are in an indoor space. Maybe you have AC right now. I am currently at my studio at the Inscape Arts Building in the International District in Seattle. And I just cracked this bottle of rosé because it's like 90 degrees outside. There's no AC in this room, but I hope wherever you're at.
Oh, sweet. Mary Heartsease here. Welcome.
Yeah, my mom's watching. So I am doing my first live show. This is for my studio sale. This is the second studio sale I've ever done, and this is the first one I've ever done all online, and the first time that I've done a virtual show. So this is a live art show, and I want to say, first of all, a huge thank you to everybody who already purchased one of my paintings in the pre-sale. So if you were a newsletter subscriber who got on the pre-sale early, I'm super humbled that you were able to buy a piece of my work. I know that it's a hard time for everybody with COVID, and I'm just really excited that you guys support me enough to buy one of my paintings. And I can imagine we're all spending a lot of time at home, so maybe you wanted to brighten up the walls a little bit, maybe you want to spice up that Zoom background. Either way, we're here to have a good time. I hope you have some good spirits with you too. I'm gonna basically go through the paintings that are left over from the sale. Not that they're leftovers. There's about half the work is left. Half of it already sold, woohoo! But I'd like to talk about a little bit of my process, a little bit of inspiration, and just what's available, and do a couple close-ups if possible. So let's make this interactive. If you have questions, if you want to see something in particular, just shout out in the comments. If you end up buying anything during the show, please let us know in the comments. I have a roll of red dots that I would love to put next to one of my paintings. So again, let's make this interactive. I really miss seeing you all in person, so this is what we got now. All right, do we have folks tuning in?
Let's see, we've had Apashupati09, Infused Joy, Roseth Kathy, Robin,
Hey,
Robin Warner Art.
Hey, Robin. All right. Oh, thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm excited. So let's get into it.
Melissa Messer Art joined just
Hi,
a minute
Melissa.
ago.
Congrats on your new baby. So I wanted to just say, for context, the studies that I have in the sale right now are just that. They're studies. Alla prima works. Alla prima done in all one sitting. So a lot of the work is done or completed in like 1 to 3 hours. So these are my little, my seeds, right, that grow into big ideas. And you might be more familiar with my finished studio work that's more detailed. And these are really just the little ideas that get me going, and I feel actually more attached to them because they have a lot of freshness, a lot of immediacy. So alla prima works. We're going to look at a couple of portraits, color studies. We only have one plein air painting left, only one landscape painting left. I'm so honored. Almost all of them are already purchased. So that's what we're going to be looking at. And again, if you guys have any questions, just shout out in the comments. So I have everything numbered behind me, and they correspond to numbers on the website. So all the purchases can be made through the website, and I think my website is hooked up to PayPal. If you don't have a PayPal, I also take Venmo, and call me up, we'll figure it out, or just send me an email. So this is the first one that's left, and this is called Columbia Gorge. I hope you guys can see. I'm gonna shift it towards the light a little bit. So this is a plein air landscape painting, and this is from the Columbia Gorge in Washington, down on the huge Columbia River. This was like a 100-degree morning after I was out there camping, 25-mile-an-hour winds. And so landscape painting for me is really a huge boot camp, right? It's just a big test of all your skills come to the fore. It's very immediate, it's very fresh. And I love landscape painting just for the fact of being outside and being able to connect with nature. So this is exactly how it comes. It's oil on panel, and it's about 10 by 3.5 inches. So I tend to work quite small when I'm landscape painting, just because, right, the light is changing. So when we work observationally, the light is changing a lot. And that's it for landscape painting. So we're gonna switch it up now. This is one from the studio. This is a studio interior. It's called Studio Interior with Dress Mannequin. 6 by 8 inches. And again, this is a small alla prima color study from my last studio that I shared with Maria Wong, another amazing artist. And again, these for me are just really about capturing a sense of light. So I'm not spending a lot of time worrying about the drawing, but more just color notes, right, for a big idea. And I love the diffuse light that I had in this old building, these old windows that were kind of this old dappled glass. So it wasn't a strong light, but it was very diffuse and even. So one of my favorites. All of these are just really lovely memories for me. So lovely memories in a little painting. The third one, here we go. This one's a little bigger. I feel like I'm on QDC. All right, so this is my old studio again, and this is the studio sink in window light, number 3. And it's about 11 by 13 inches. So I painted this last winter, again when I was at my old studio in South Seattle. And I really love playing with brushwork and texture in this one. So really building up, the texture of the lights in the window, the texture in the countertop, and just getting all these reflections. This one was a lot of fun, just trying to paint the light on different types of surfaces. So the metal sink and the more matte countertop. I love the challenge of that. So again, this is number 3, and it's 11 by 13.
Nice. We had a few folks that joined.
Ooh, fun.
Shout out to T.S. Matz, Jenna Lauren White, Diane Burr, Gallery Baird, Andy Miller 575, and someone named Collected Effervescence Joe ... Hey everyone,
So
welcome.
what number is this? Welcome you guys, thanks for tuning in, my live art show. I'm just trying to connect with folks, right? Like we're all isolated right now. I would love to have a studio opening, but I'm just so happy to be able to do this, and I'm trying to embrace technology. So thanks you so much for tuning in. This is the number 4 painting, and it is called Modern Mountains. So some of you might remember a developed still life painting I made a couple years ago called Broken, and that was a triptych painting of different types of refuse and garbage, like a Chinese takeout container, nail polish, different like articles of femininity. And this painting, it's a little color study, again, of a pile of trash. And there's something that is so complex and intriguing to me about garbage. And I think that it's this archaeological aspect of just the objects around us are these manifestations of who we are, and what we choose to surround ourselves with just speaks so much about our identities. So this color study is kind of an echo of that painting, and I'm hoping to explore that theme a little bit more in the future. It's 9 by 12, and it's got an N95 mask in it.
Sweet. So we have Jenna Lauren White says, happy to see you and your artwork too, Grace. And
Hey, Jenna. Jenna was in my SAI figure painting class last fall.
And
how's it going?
Infuse Joy in the chat. Columbia Gorge is now sold. We support you, Grace, and value your gifts to the world. You are amazing.
Oh my
From
gosh.
Laura and Matt, who have the
Oh my
I Love
gosh,
Bread
Laura
painting.
and Matt. Wow, thank you guys. Laura and Matt, shout out to two of my really early collectors. So appreciative you guys are still around, and I'm so excited for you to have it. This is, a 9 by 12, and I think I've said enough about that. So, I was gonna say it has an N95 mask in it, which is just bizarre because it was painted before the pandemic. So, I actually had that N95 from 2 summers ago when it was so smoky in Seattle, and it just feels so strange to be talking about it right now because it's, again, super smoky. Not as bad as California, but that's Modern Mountains, and it's number 4.
We have someone named My Profound Hound.
Oh, Sarah. Sarah's in Florida. Sarah just bought a couple of the No Face color studies last night during the pre-sale. Shout out to Sarah Blanc. So we're moving on to like portraits now. This is different than anything else in the sale. So this is a highly developed studio painting of a model named Gabriel. It's called Gabriel with Leather Jacket. And this is number 5. It's 10 by 12 inches, and it's on a canvas panel from Artifacts. So this is an example of the kind of really digging deep, indirect, long form painting that I have done a lot of, and this is what I would do more for a portrait commission. Or for works that I'm really trying to crystallize, like I'm really trying to get in there and describe exactly what it is that I see. Absolutely my favorite thing to paint. People, portraits, figures. Not a whole lot of that going on right now, but I love this painting, and if anyone were to buy this, I would also have it framed, and I could help you do that if you were interested, because I feel like it would look really good in a frame. Nice. So that's number 5. Moving right along.
We have a chat from Ashwini Sadikar. Those face color studies resonate with me so much. The shapes and the colors. There's a shining heart emoji.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, Ashwini. Ashwini's work is also stunning. Very colorful. These are 6 and 7, and I call these the no face color studies. So this is part of my process when I am working up to a really highly developed, I don't know if you guys can see really zoomed in. Sergey, my cameraman, is behind the camera here, and he's telling me which direction to go. These are quick color notes for larger portrait paintings. And there's just so much information that you can get on such a small scale. I love these things. I love how weird they look. I love how anonymous and faceless a face can be when it's at this scale. But this really helps me develop the light and shadow and really nail color information when I'm working on a longer piece. Number 6 and 7. And this one, in fact, is the color study for the last highly developed painting of Gabriel. So you can see how if a painting is successful for me, the same color information that I get at this scale will eventually show up in the big one. So just holding on to this big idea from a really small painting.
We have Tay Dao who joined.
Oh. Is that Taylor Dow? I think so. Thanks for coming, you guys. Again, this is just the first time I'm doing this live art show, and it's a total experiment for me. I think making art right now is just about connection. I feel extremely isolated from friends and my artist community, but I am happy to be able to talk to you a little bit, or talk to a camera a little bit about my work. So we have a couple more portraits. So numbers 8 and 9 are some alla prima portrait paintings. So these are completed in about 2 hours, and this one is varnished, so it's got a little bit of a gloss on it, but I did this down in Santa Fe in the winter when I was at Anthony Ryder's studio. So again, the alla prima paintings, it's just these like fast blitzes, right? So really trying to capture a lot of information. It's an awesome exercise just for skill building, but also just the freshness of the brush strokes. That's something that I'm trying to do more of. So this is Toby. And then the other one is a well-known Seattle model named Isis. And these are both 8 by 10 on Dibond aluminum composite. And that's just a surface that I love. It's archival, it's slick, and I like the feel and the look of it when it's completed. So those are numbers 8 and 9. Let's put that back up. Okay. And then we're gonna do my drawings. Okay. So these are quite delicate. I'll hold this one up first. Another well-known model from Seattle. This is Shauna Holman. This is a trois crayon drawing on toned paper. So trois crayon, fancy schmancy word for 3 pencils. Historically red chalk or red Conte, white chalk, and black charcoal. And just weaving those together creates this kind of balance between warm and cool. So the really nice warm of the red, that's what I love about these mediums, is like getting the warmth of that into the flesh, right? So really great for portrait and figure work, and balancing that with the cools of the black and the white. There's so much to experiment with just with a few mediums. And you'll see all around in this drawing, I have little notes. So this is a demo that I did for a workshop I taught in the spring on the trois crayon drawing method. So this drawing, it's 9 by 12. If anybody buys this during the show, I'm gonna offer, in addition to this drawing, because it's from a workshop, I'm also gonna offer the other demos and exercises that I did for the class. So this will come with the drawing. and all for $300. So it's basically like an entire workshop in 2 drawings, right? So you have all my notes, and I make a lot of notes about how to render form, how to render light and shadow, temperature, all kinds of goodies.
My profound hound says hauntingly good with
Hauntingly
exclamation
good.
points.
Thanks, Sarah. All right, and look who we have here. This drawing is priceless. This is the man behind the camera, Sergey.
Hey,
Sergey
that's me.
in Trois Crayon. This is, again, prepping for that workshop, and it's just a medium that I love, so I do a lot of this Trois Crayon drawing, but Sergey was kind enough to pose for me. Just kidding, he's my captive quarantine model. So, another portrait drawing, again, 9x12 on the toned paper. I have plenty of them, don't worry. Plenty of drawings of this guy. Priceless face. And I think we only have one more. Okay. Let's talk about experiments. Experimentation. So a lot of my work up until this point has been highly representational. I'm shifting this way, that's good. Okay, you guys can see. So a lot of my work has been directly painted from observation, highly detailed, representational. So I almost hesitated to put this one out here because it's a total experiment. And I really love the color in it, but what I'm doing in this is starting to flatten shapes. So I'm really starting to look at the abstract qualities of color shapes and how that can redefine 3-dimensional space in a 2-dimensional work. So yes, I come from the atelier classical training where we're really trying to create depth of form in 3 dimensions in realistic space. But I am kind of getting into more collaging shapes together, a little bit of flatness in the shapes. And so this painting, I worked on it over the course of a couple of days and also at different times. So it is completed from life, from observation. But you can see that it's documenting different times, right? So the light was changing. This is a pothos plant. I think it's a marbled queen pothos, and it's sitting in the window. Right now I can see it right here in my studio. And so I was looking at that and watching the color and the light shift, this natural window light. So you can kind of see remnants of different times and different types of lighting all in the same painting. It's a little bit looser, it's a little bit blockier, but I'm really excited about this, and who knows, you might start to see a little bit more of this creeping in to the rest of my work.
Sweet.
Zoom in on that. Yeah, so this is number 12. Oh, and it's 11x14. The last thing I'll say about it is on this super fun material called Mylar. And Mylar is plastic. So it's like a plastic paper, and it's frosted. So it's not exactly transparent, but you can hold it up to the light almost like stained glass. And so for framing this, you could mat it like a drawing where you use a white backing, similar to something like this. Or you could press it between 2 pieces of glass, and then you would be having that light actually travel through and bounce off of different surfaces. So it's just so much fun, just experimenting a little bit.
Rachel Erstad and Princess Blintz joined.
Hey Rachel and Andy.
And Princess Blintz asks how much.
How much? This one is listed at $350. So this is kind of the top end for the studio sale. So stuff is really priced to move. My idea in doing this sale is really to clear some space out for what's next, clear some space for new experiments and iterations of my work, but also just really looking to connect with you guys again. Like I said, if I wasn't doing this live, I would be having an open studio in person, you all would be here, we'd be drinking some rosé together. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I appreciate the opportunity to connect with you. Again, all of these works that you see behind you, there's a lot of red dots. Thank you so much to everybody who purchased early in the pre-sale. I am so humbled again that you all support me, especially during this time. And I'm really excited for these to be on your walls and again, spice up your Zoom background. So what else to say? The studio sale is ending on Sunday. So these, hopefully nothing will be left by then, but also they will not be offered again at the same prices. So this is a really special discount, I guess, on the work. And again, I'm so happy to just be able to connect with you and to share what I've been thinking about, share a little bit of my process and inspiration. If anybody has questions, I can stay on for a minute.
We have Rachel saying, amazing work, Grace.
Thanks, Rachel. Rachel has several of my pieces, so the Erstad collection is growing. Yeah. I guess, again, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm gonna post this up on my Instagram so y'all can watch it later. And the sale is ending on Sunday, so thank you all so much. Love you, love you, love you. Email me, just send me a DM if you have any questions about the work, and I'd be happy to share with you whatever you like. Thanks so much. See you next time. I'm hoping to do this again. Woohoo!
Some good reactions in the audience.
All right.
All right.
Miss you guys. I'm gonna have some rosé.